Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs and R.A. Dudrek, the Window King, present Mohawk Valley Living, exploring the arts, culture, and heritage of our region. A special good morning to the Burns family, watching in Clinton.
Good morning and welcome to Mohawk Valley Living. Today we're traveling all over the Mohawk Valley and we're going to be featuring some old-fashioned crops, including some hops and some elderberries.
It's a fast world we're in today. We just need some time to play. I know a place where we can go, where the time goes a little more slow. Moss covered rocks, water that's freezing.
This Saturday is the Wildlife Festival at the Utica Zoo, featuring Northeast chainsaw carving champion Mark Tayo, face painting by Smiley and Coco, music and entertainment. Visit the Utica Zoo this Saturday from 10 to 4 for the 2013 Wildlife Festival. Special thanks to our presenting sponsor, R.A. Dudrek, for making the show possible.
New York is certainly benefiting with one of the best apple crops they've ever had. And it's not only this year, but what makes it special is last year was the poorest crop we've ever seen in probably 40 years. It was about 50% statewide. This year, I think we're going to be across the board close to 100%. You know, in anything in agriculture, the more years you're in it, you're going to have good years, bad years. Last year wasn't so great. We had frost and cold. This year we had plenty of rain. That's the size. And, you know, it hurt some of the early crops, strawberries, some of those things, annual crops, but perennial crops like to absorb the water that's given them. It was a mild winter. We had plenty of set. We had a pretty good period for the bees to pollinate, which are really important in apples. And you know, it had all the makings of a perfect year. We dodged some heavy storms. Just last week, a hailstorm hit some of the areas. So we're always at nature's peril, and we hope we get through, and I think we have this year. An indicator that growers check all the time, and in the home orchard, you want to know if your apples are quite ready, simply cut them in half. And if the seeds are brown, they're ready. The advantage of having over 20 varieties of apples, it's a wider spectrum. So you get to try some of the early varieties, which most people may not even be aware of, like Zest Star, which is a real tangy apple. It's an early apple. We have Tideman, which makes an excellent applesauce or pie. It's an early apple, doesn't keep well. And then we go with Ginger Gold, which is a new flavor in apples, very mild, sweet apple. But then obviously we get into Macintosh and Honeycrisp, everybody's favorite, and McCowan, and it goes on and on. You know, all apples are edible, obviously, but some apples are better for cooking. Some of them cook down better. If you want chunkier applesauce, or your pie is a little firmer, or maybe you want them the opposite. You want them fully cooked and a little softer. So there's a lot of variety. Some of the varieties hold their color better. Cortland is well known for fruit salads as far as holding the white look, and it doesn't get that brown look. But there's a lot of varieties. Some of them are specialized for certain things. Some are tartar, strictly tart, always have that tartness. Others have that combination sweet tart, and then others are just sweet. Some of them just won't cook down the way you want. One cautionary piece of advice is, if you're cooking with them, if you mix too many, a good blend is good in applesauce, but in pies you don't want a hard apple along with a softer apple because it'll be disproportionately hard and soft.
Most U-Pick apple orchards open for the season next weekend, including here at North Star Orchards in Westmoreland, Windy Hill in Cassville, Middlefield Orchard in Cooperstown, and Sharon Orchards in Sharon Springs. Visit MohawkValleyLiving.com for a link to a local U-Pick orchard near you. Watch Mohawk Valley Living Sundays on Fox 33 and WUTR. And coming soon, a new magazine featuring show summaries, maps, guides, and more. Watch the show every Sunday and pick up the free Mohawk Valley Living magazine coming this fall. Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner and Demoulas. Check out this 2013 Dodge Avenger, only 13,000 miles with a 7-year, 100,000-mile factory warranty. Was $17,995. Mohawk Valley Living fan price $16,995 at Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs.
Everyone knows the Window King for windows because he's been selling good windows cheap for years. But R.A. Dudrak is much more than windows. He's windows and doors, kitchens and floors. So, whether you're looking for energy-efficient windows to save money this winter, or a new kitchen to brighten up those long winter months, the Window King has it all. Visit their showroom in beautiful Holland Patent and see for yourself why R.A. Dudrak is the Window King.
Shop the fun and frugal Newport Marketplace. Over 40 vendors of treasures, antiques, unique gifts, Amish baskets, and new and handcrafted items. New items arriving daily at the Newport Marketplace on Route 28, just 20 minutes from Utica, Little Falls, and the Valley. Melrose Supermarket is your family hometown market, known for their choice hand-cut meats, homemade breads, and fresh pastas and salads. Check out the weekly specials at Melrose Supermarket, East Main Street in Frankfort. Summer fashion at a fraction during the summer clearance. Save up to 40% on colorful, fun-to-wear summer clothing. On sale now at the Village Crossing in Clinton.
Hi, Dr. Tom. Bringing your cat to the Paris Hill Cat Hospital on Sundays is a part of Mohawk Valley living. Come inside and see why.
Paris Hill Cat Hospital, this is Lindsay. How can I help you? Hello, Mrs. Cole. Your cat is losing weight and you need an appointment? And you're only available on weekends. Sure, I have an available appointment with Dr. Karen Sunday at 2 p.m. Does that fit into your schedule? Okay.
We're open 7 days a week because we know that your cat can become ill anytime. The Paris Hill Cat Hospital, quality care for your cats and kittens.
Buy the bushel and save at North Star Orchards. Take advantage of summer's bounty and stock up now for freezing and canning. Pick a peck of peppers. Choose from 8 varieties. Enjoy sweet nectarines and peaches from New York and Pennsylvania. Buy the bushel and save at North Star Orchards in Westmoreland.
I look through the iron bars and the dusty railroad track. Close my eyes when I hear the wheels clickety-clack.
Special thanks to Skinner and Demoulas for keeping Mohawk Valley living on the road. Stop in and say hi to the guys at Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs. It's harvest season, so we head north of Rome to Ava to Valley View Elderberry Farms. Helmut Schmeichel believes health is wealth, and he's the richest man he knows. He gears us up with walking sticks and guides us to his elderberry fields. He has been growing and propagating these medicinal plants for over 10 years.
The birds dropped seeds on my property here and they grew up. I took some clusters, extension service down by the airport, and they told me that you can make wine out of them, jams and jellies. They like the land over there. And it took 3 years to get them started from slips about that long, shove them into the ground, and let them grow. I don't fertilize those over there, which is nice. The bugs don't hurt them, and nothing seems to affect them. I eat them in my cow, cream of wheat on Monday. I have them in my oatmeal Thursday and Friday. I made them into jam, which I have with my pancakes twice a week. And then I sip some wine. And then when I find time, I'll even try some of my own vinegar. Oh, yes. I take a lot of my berries, the last couple of years, down to Brenda's down in Rome. Mm-hmm. But if she gets a call for them, I got them dried already, dehydrated. And that's the best way to take them down to Brenda's. They don't spoil. You can leave them out in the open, and there's a natural preservative in them, which is really good. Yes.
The medicinal uses for elderberries seems endless, especially known for boosting the immune system and for their antioxidant properties. Helmut's elderberries are prized by people as far away as the Hawaiian Islands, but you can pick them here in Ava, or purchase them at Brenda's Natural Foods on West Dominic Street in Rome. We head back down to the city of Rome to the studios of Frank Page. He is a graphic designer and editorial cartoonist at the Rome Daily Sentinel. He is known around the world as the man who has shared his life for the last 11 years with a curious, smart-mouthed squirrel named Bob.
Well, I've been drawing since I was able to hold a pencil in my hand, and one of the things my mother used to tell me was that I used to draw in her books that she used to have, and she used to get mad, but now she's not so mad. Just something that I just kept on doing over and over and over. Of course, in high school, I was kind of bitten by the bug. I was a cartoonist on the school newspaper, and I translated that into college. I was also a cartoonist on the college newspaper. Then, of course, into the real world, I ultimately became a cartoonist at the Rome Sentinel. I was watching MASH on Sunday morning, and right next to the TV there was a window, and outside that window I saw this squirrel. It's kind of like Batman becoming Batman after he sees a bat coming through the window. I saw this squirrel do this amazing ninja dive off of a power line. I mean, I was totally enthralled with this squirrel. I didn't care about MASH anymore. I was looking at this squirrel. I thought for a couple of steps he was actually going to fall, and I was wondering how am I going to get from my second floor apartment down to the street to be able to catch this squirrel if he fell. He didn't fall, and because he didn't fall, I ended up getting my sketchbook out and creating Bob. It was just like that. I have fans all over the world. I have fans in England, in Australia, in countries that don't even speak English. But I guess he's universal. Even countries that really don't have squirrels know Bob the Squirrel, which I think is phenomenal. I made him so that he was the best friend I didn't have, and I knew that I would probably be spending a lot of time with him, so I wanted to make him as cool as possible and as annoying as possible.
You can follow Frank and Bob's adventures in the Rome Daily Sentinel and online at bobthesquirrel.com. And coming soon, you can see Bob the Squirrel in a new original comic strip in Mohawk Valley Living magazine, available for free October 1st. When in Rome, we head to the popular Teddy's restaurant on Black River Boulevard. This restaurant has been known for years for its salads, steaks, and seafood, and more recently for its Riggies. Their recipe won the Utica Riggie Fest for 3 consecutive years and was inducted into the Riggie Hall of Fame.
Actually, I was the executive chef, for 10 years before I took over the place, and the owner decided to retire. So, I knew the business and I knew it was a good place to have and everybody liked it. So in 2005, myself and 2 others, which the managers do, we took it over. I saw the opportunity. The opportunity was great. I think that it's a good restaurant. And myself being executive chef, I thought, you know what, I can make something very good out of this place. So I think we have accomplished that. We expanded in 2007. We expanded. We took over another place, our neighbor, and because people was waiting outside in the wintertime, so we decided it was time to expand, and it's been great since then. It was the right decision. I think that we are very, very proud to have this place now. I can tell you though, that it's a lot more work than being executive chef. But we love it. We love the business and we love people, and we've been very happy.
Teddy's restaurant is open Monday through Saturday for lunch and dinner at 851 Black River Boulevard in Rome. Come down and try their popular pasta dishes. You can even make their famous Riggies at home. Pick up Mohawk Valley Living magazine on October 1st. You'll find Teddy's famous Riggies recipe inside.
Just wait on these shoulders, but ain't gonna let it bring me down. Just wait on my spirit and there's weight on my mind.
Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner and Demoulas. Check out this 2013 Dodge Avenger, only 13,000 miles with a 7-year, 100,000-mile factory warranty. Was $17,995. Mohawk Valley Living fan price $16,995 at Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs. Be sure to attend the 32nd Annual Adirondacks National Exhibition of American Watercolors. Ranked one of the best watercolor exhibitions in the country, the exhibit features works by many of the greatest living painters in North America. On display now at View in Old Forge. Visit Brenda's Natural Foods in their brand new, bigger location, right down the street at 236 West Dominic Street in Rome. Brenda's Natural Foods, something good and a lot of it. For the most unique shopping experience, visit the Little Falls Antique Center and the shops at 25 West. Over 40 local vendors, all under one roof. Shop local at the Little Falls Antique Center and the shops at 25 West. Always worth the drive. At Canal Place in Little Falls. Shop Shelter for handmade Adirondack furniture designed by craftsman Jim Kiefer. He works with you to create custom pieces to your specifications, from dining room and coffee tables to bookcases, beds, and bunks. Call or visit Shelter on Main Street in Old Forge. Why do contractors and do-it-yourselfers shop Lincoln Davies? It's the superior grade lumber, the value for the money, the 140 years and 6 generations of customer service. Since 1872, Lincoln Davies has delivered superior lumber, value, and service, and they're not about to change things now. Celebrating 140 years at the same location, just 10 minutes south of New Hartford on Summit Road between routes 12 and 8. Lincoln Davies, building them like they used to. Call Yannick Excavating for all your residential and commercial projects, from new construction and land clearing to septic systems, driveways, basements, ponds, and topsoil. Visit yannickexcavating.com. Expecting company? Just call Deansboro Superette. They prepare delicious Middle Eastern platters for any number of guests. Call 841-4377.
There's something in you, just can't explain. Bring the sun that shines down.
Cornfields have always been a common sight in Bouckville, but more and more in the region, we're seeing magical floating fields of hops. This once world-famous hops region is once again growing this prized crop. The Mosier Farm was founded as a dairy in 1920. They now grow a variety of vegetables and fruits, including the sweet, citrus-scented hops.
Well, I'm third generation, so we've been around here quite a few years. The farm started probably in the early 1900s as a dairy and then switched to fruits and vegetables with my grandfather. And then with the interest of hops the past few years, we decided, well, we'll take a gamble and diversify a little bit and get into it. So we planted them last year. Well, it's very labor intensive. It's very costly to, as you can see, there's a lot of structure involved, putting the poles, the wires, the rhizomes. And it's usually, you're not going to get full production until 3 years after you plant them. So you got a lot of initial upfront costs that you can't recoup until, a few years down the road. But with the interest in the brewery legislation that was passed in New York, there's definitely an interest for locally grown hops. We have 5 acres here, 5 different varieties. Cascade is our largest. That seems to be the most popular variety. And then we also have Centennial, Chinook, Nugget, and Willamette.
You can learn more about local hops at the 18th Annual Madison County Hop Fest, September 13th through 15th. There's beer sampling, guest speakers, and exhibits at the Madison County Historical Society on Main Street in Oneida. This week, we travel into the heart of the antique mecca of the Northeast, Bouckville. Tens of thousands of people from all over the country travel to this annual event. But Little Bouckville is much more than antiques. This tiny hamlet has a big history, appropriately housed in the tiny Shenango Canal Cottage Museum.
Well, we don't know originally what the building was here. It was an old tin shack, and it was brought here and settled, on a small basement. But in 1916, the barber across the street's grandfather, Mr. Shattuck, created a barber shop, and there are fixtures in the ceiling behind me that shows where the lights hung down. And he had a little cup with water in it for a comb, and they had an outhouse down at the bottom. And he barbered here for a long time, and it's still in the family since then. And the grandson barbers across the street today. When people came by and saw what we were doing with the trail and with the cottage museum, they would come and donate some of their labor, and we worked very hard on it for a whole summer, and we got it open. And there are photographs of a whole lot of historic happenings that are local, and people like to come and see. Right now we've got information about the canal and local businesses and how the Landmark Tavern across the street was originally created to be full of stores with like a dry goods emporium, and they had hops that stored in the top attic with molasses stored, and they had a blacksmith shop down below, and they had 3 other stores there. It was one of the first mini malls.
For those who think that Cooperstown is the mecca for baseball, you should take a ride down here to Bouckville. This little hamlet produced two major league players. One was Snake Wiltsey, who played for the Highlanders, and the Highlanders then went on to become what is known today as the New York Yankees. And there's also his brother, it was his brother, correct? Younger brother, whose nickname was Hooks Wiltsey. He went on to play for the New York Giants. Quite a bit of history right here in this little town of Bouckville.
You can read all about the history of the Bouckville Summits baseball team in Jim Ford's book, The Pride of Cidertown, available in local shops and bookstores. Jim is currently working on a new book about the history of the Mott's Company.
Most people do not know that the Mott's Company started in Bouckville, New York. We're standing here in Bouckville in one of the mills that used to be associated with the Mott's Company. The particular feed mill that we're standing in right now used to be the vinegar plant for the Mott's Company. Mr. Mott was originally from the Albany area, and in 1868 moved his family here to Bouckville. Interestingly, they came by canal. They came by the Shenango Canal with their possessions. He was a one-third owner in a cider and vinegar plant. Within a couple of years, he bought out his partners and established the Mott's Cider and Vinegar Company.
The canal that brought the Mott's family to Bouckville is being revitalized by the Shenango Canal Association. Through the help of volunteers, the Shenango Canal Towpath Trail now stretches along the summit through Bouckville.
Well, what we have behind us is the Shenango Canal. This was a canal that was built in the mid-1800s and ran from Binghamton to Utica, 97 miles. And what we have remaining is a short section of the canal where we have, with a volunteer group, the Shenango Canal Association, developed a hiking trail that's now somewhat over 7 miles long. The project this year has been to keep the trail clear and with the village of Hamilton to extend it into the village of Hamilton. So we've added about 2 miles of trail this year with the help of the village, and we now have a connection that runs almost 7.5 miles. Well, this canal was active for somewhat over 40 years in the mid-19th century and was a major route of commerce at that time. Unfortunately, the development of the railroads came along in the later 1800s and made the canal obsolete, and it fell into disuse in the 1870s.
There's the fruit of my labor when I get bored. Tell me that it's mightier than the sword. It's sweet and subtle as a song of the wren. Well, if a drunk man's words are a sober man's mind, it's all the same to her unless it's written on that line. Everything fades away without my pen. He who reaps, he writes, he sows. Patiently the pen waits under my nose. I come up with a...
Behind me are the remnants of an aqueduct that used to go over the Oriskany Creek. It was the Shenango Canal. Come down here today and you'll find quite a few fishermen, as we did, and there's a reason for that, because I'm told that when the fish go over that little waterfall, they're really quite stunned, and therefore they're easier to catch.
Well, I got the job and I got the money, got the home, got the honey, but where does it lead me from here?
There were 116 locks built in the Shenango Canal. Right here alone, there were 500 Irish immigrants who worked on the canal, and not too far from here, they lived in a shanty town that had the name New Dublin.
What kind of spirit?
When the Irish were not working on the canal during the summertime, to keep busy during the wintertime, what did they do? They built houses, like the house behind me. It is absolutely gorgeous. Take a look at it if you take a ride down here, because it's made of cobblestone and it has double walls. When the Irish built these homes, they created their own form of insulation by building two separate walls. There'd be the outside one, then an airspace in the middle, and then the inside wall. They were very clever people.
Farewell, you colliery workers, to the muffler and the cap. Farewell, you Rhondda Valley girls, we never
In 1866, James B. Turnbull walked to farms and villages to visit his customers, earning their trust. Today, the fourth generation of Turnbulls continue that dedication, tailoring a life insurance plan to suit your unique needs and priorities. Turn to the company that is out there to earn your trust. Turn to Turnbull. Do something about your chronic pain. InterX therapy can be the answer to your post-surgical or sports injury rehabilitation or chronic neuropathic pain. Call Dr. Michael Tucherone at 853-6225 for non-invasive InterX therapy. Mark your calendars for the ultimate celebration of autumn, the 35th Annual Harvest Festival, September 14th and 15th at the Farmers Museum. This regional favorite brings together a wide range of performers, artisans, great food, music, animals, and family activities. Enjoy traditional 19th century music, horse-drawn wagon rides, apple cider pressing, and free rides on the Empire State Carousel. It's the 35th Annual Harvest Festival, September 14th and 15th at the Farmers Museum in Cooperstown. That special art, photograph, or memorabilia deserves a special frame. Oscars creates one-of-a-kind gold and silver leaf mirrors and frames. Oscars Picture Framing, 12 Kellogg Road, New Hartford. Have a tropical adventure and walk among hundreds of free-flying butterflies, tropical birds, plants, lizards, and frogs at the Pop Butterfly Conservatory. It's an unforgettable experience for all ages. Open 7 days a week on Route 7 in Oneonta. When you shop Meelan's Market, you'll be the grill master. That's because every hot dog, beef patty, and sausage is made by Bob Meelan himself. Find everything for your next cookout, from store-made meats to fresh salads and tabbouleh, at Meelan's Market at the Four Corners in Clark Mills. Experience the Fenimore Art Museum, overlooking beautiful Otsego Lake. Spend the day exploring the permanent collection of American Indian art and one of the nation's largest collections of American folk art. And Nature and the American Vision exhibition, highlighting 19th century Hudson River School artists, on display at the Fenimore Art Museum in Cooperstown. Tom's Natural Foods is your connection to local farms for natural and organic fruits and vegetables, meats, eggs, cheeses, and other milk products. At Tom's Natural Foods in Clinton, naturally.
Baby, can't you see no matter where you go, you never find another friend like me. Anytime you are alone and blue, please hurry home, won't you?
We hope that you enjoyed today's show. Be sure to tune in next week when we will be giving out some prizes in celebration of our new magazine that will be coming out very soon, right? Do I get a free copy of it? The magazine?
It's free for everybody.
It's free for everybody.
Got a head like a bean. He steers a T-bird like you never seen. Picks up the young one.